Hello guys, LEGO Gladiator here with a talk about LEGO Army Builders packs. Now, a lot of things I get amongst my LEGO stuff is I like to get the Army Builders packs that keep the battle packs that keep coming out, but I always have trouble because it always comes with a bunch of pieces which you build a vehicle of some kind or something else. Now what I always do with the vehicle itself is usually I use the parts to build something a lot nicer, like part of the base or something, or I just blend the pieces in with some other stuff. Either way, I usually recycle the pieces and use them for other things. Now, one thing I can't stand about I usually put these weapons away so I don't have them out where I can access them right now. But those little launcher things that come in the new Star Wars sets. Now I can't do like a review where I show both weapons, but I can show you my little army of soldiers I made. This is from just buying 2 packs. This handful right here. I wound up with 8 resistance troopers. Of course, I took the time to change their faces. So if you look, that guy, this guy, this guy has a different face, as you can see. So does this one. Only 3 of them kept their original faces. But for the newer ones, as you can see, I switched their faces so they look less alike. I kind of don't like how I do like it when they have different faces on different troopers. But of course, there are other packs that my friends that I actually bought. A lot of my friends have actually said that they think are the best packs I bought. Of course, my favorite battle pack I've ever bought in my whole life was the Commando Troopers. I love these guys. I mean, these guys are awesome. I loved the Clone Wars TV show when it was out. As you can see, this is supposed to be like the commander dude of the thing. A normal trooper, which it comes with 3 other troopers, as you could see. I've kept these guys in one piece. I've used them for a lot of my stop motions, if you remember. Sometimes they get their behinds whipped by heroes and such. Anyways, that's my blue troopers. Of course, on to my next troopers. Now, I am actually taking the time. With these, I don't too much really want to review them. I actually don't like them. I don't know why I bought them. But, Stormtroopers. Whoops. Sorry for anyone who was using headphones when that happened. Anyways, all of them look the same. They're generic. Here's what I think of it. 100 ways to kill a stormtrooper. See, sorry, I get a little bit of a violent streak in me sometimes, but there's one thing I've always enjoyed in Star Wars is where the stormtrooper hits his head on the ceiling. I can't get that scene out of my head ever. Either way, these guys never have done anything to impress me. They're not impressive characters in Star Wars. Now, these are my kind of troopers. I mean, I preferred them over the stormtroopers. I do hate the fact that they're supposed to be like that the stormtroopers and them are sometimes the same, but according to a friend of mine, they didn't clone any more clones after Order 66, which means half the stormtroopers were actually just clones who just were put into much cheaper and pathetic armor. The clone armor compared to Stormtrooper armor is actually less stronger than clone armor. So those of you out there who say Stormtroopers are better than clones, guess what? They were clones. They're just in much more generic, pathetic armor. And most of the time you see them missing the heroes. Come on, if those guys had any sense in their heads. Either way, a friend of mine actually bought me this pack. So here's a clone trooper. I love the details on these guys. I love the designs for their armor. And I'm going to go ahead and compare them to a stormtrooper. Those of you who are fans of the clone troopers, please forgive me for doing that. As you can see, Stormtrooper is pathetic. Clone Trooper has much cooler detail. And of course, I'll move on to the... Now I did remove something on the Clone Trooper guys. The ARC Trooper here was his little skirt piece. I used it on my Predator figurine, and I used the other one on another figurine. But I don't too much care about the part because I think he looks better without it. Doesn't hide the nice details on his legs very much if I do that. I like the details on this figurine. I mean, he's awesome. Either way, that's a pretty cool figurine. I don't know if you call him an ARC Trooper or what, but they're a pretty... I call him an ARC Trooper. And then the set that this came in, there was 2 of them and 2 normal clone troopers. Now, the clones you don't have to change the heads to, but I suggest to any of you who get any of these kinds of soldiers, remember, if all of them are generic, then you better change the heads. Then again, you're not really planning on removing the helmets, but if you're doing like a stop motion, and you don't, it'll look like a bunch of clones are removing the helmets. That's what it'll look like. So in other words, so if you do that with Stormtroopers, if you give them all the same heads, think of it this way, you're insulting clone troopers. If you give them all the same heads, you're insulting the clones from the Clone Wars. So try it this way. Like I sometimes, I mean, I'm not saying you should, I'm just saying it looks more realistic. Because it depends on the year the timeline. If it's after Order 66, that means there's still clones in the Stormtrooper armor. But I do have to say, I wish they would just... What LEGO would do about these characters is, don't give them generic heads. Then again, it'd probably be more expensive of a set. Of course, these aren't the only figurines I had. Of course, by accident, in my original, I wound up with 2 of these kinds of guards. Wound up customizing them a lot, so here's what they look like. And I keep winding up customizing. Of course, back to the soldiers. These are the soldiers that came with it. Death Star Trooper Battle Pack. Now, these guys, I don't know much about them, so... They appear in my stop motions, they get killed in my stop motions. Of course, I'll do a showcase right here. This is my custom Mandalorian warrior figurine. Actually, he's a bounty hunter. As you can see, he has Clone Army Customs armor, original Clone Wars leg armor, chest armor, which I figured out a way to modify it. If you're wondering if I destroyed an actual Lego piece, no, I did not. This was actually from a rip-off minifig of Lego. This was a rip-off minifig's armor. I would never take a knife to actual Lego items and such. This was off of a fake minifig. This armor here was off fake Lego minifig. I wouldn't even put Lego in the same brand is that thing? I mean, I never had a chance. This was before I had a YouTube channel that I got that figurine. That I got it was a Samurai Nia figurine. And the first thing that happened when I got it out of the box, I realized it was a fake Lego figurine. I was like, I thought it was from China, actually. Because I had Chinese writing right where the symbol Lego could be. Now keep in mind, if you ever find a set that looks like a Lego set, it'll look exactly the same. The box will look exactly the same. It'll feel the same quality. But if it has Chinese writing on it, it's a fake Lego minifigure. I'm not insulting the Chinese knockoff. I'm not insulting China. I'm just saying the figurine was kind of, I mean, it was rude kind of to not put down on the box not Lego or something. I mean, this was not a figurine that I wouldn't even give that thing to a kid, was the problem. But this was probably none of the if any of you know of those Decool or any of those other companies that make fake Lego merchandise, this thing was none of those companies. Whew. I think somewhere around my room I have the legs still in one piece. The rest of it fell apart 3 days after I bought it. It was a piece of junk. Anyways, that's it for today, guys. Comment, subscribe, share the video. And please, forget I said any of that stuff about insulting the figurine. But I'm just saying, the only good part from that set was a oh, wait a minute. Yeah, the only good thing from that set that came was the weapons and the armor, but the helmet, oh boy. Either way, if you see a set that has like a Legos looking quality set that has Chinese writing on it, if you're into Legos completely, don't get it. You'll be, I mean, probably the build was kind of stable, but it only costed me $3 to begin with, but I found it in a flea market, so I don't really know where it was from, but I don't know whether it was Japanese or Chinese writing, because I don't know the difference between them, so I'm not insulting anyone. I don't even have the box anymore, but I do know if you, let's see, I think I may have the helmet somewhere around in here. Yeah, here's the helmet. Give you guys a good look at it. Looks Lego. It looks like the quality of Lego, but it's not. If I was to put this on a little Lego minifigure head, this would be impossible to remove. Completely latches onto the head. You could have a minifigure head that's tight to a minifigure torso. This thing could tear that head right off as you're removing it. I mean, that is how tightly fit on the minifigure head it is. I've had to pry minifigure heads off of it so many times I've gotten annoyed by it. But it did come with some other good use. But it did come with a useful weapon or two that I still have. If I could just find it. Yep. Come on, where are you? Ah, here it is. It did come with some useful weapons that I still use if I... Now this is actually a pretty... It came with that. That was one of the weapons that were useful. I have no idea where the other weapons went. My guess is they probably fell apart. Either way, that's probably the only weapon I actually liked that came in that. But it's useful. Still. Anyways, that's it for today, guys. Comment, subscribe, and let me know in the comments if you ever wound up with a fake Lego minifigure. You fell for the same trick I did. Because I was pretty much, in my eyes, I only found it in a flea market, only paid $3 for it. It was a spinner set. But I still have the spinner as well. But if you guys have ever had that same problem happen to you, let me know in the comments. If you've ever wound up with a fake Lego minifigure. Now, I don't know what I'm going to do with the samurai helmet ever. Might one day see if I can send it. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, because it just gets stuck to a minifigure head too easily. I use it on my Creo figurines for now, because they have like a gap in the chin, which makes it easy to remove the helmet from the head. So if you get something like that, use it on Creo figurines, not on Lego figurines. The armor itself, the chest armor, as you can see on this guy, it's perfect. If you remove the back and attach the, here's about what I did. If you guys probably already know, I removed the back end of the armor. So it looks that way. And then I quickly put the jetpack over it, and I got a permanently pretty much heavy armored machine gunner. Anyways, that's about it for today. Like I said, comment and subscribe, share the video, and please don't anyone take offense at what I said. I'm just saying, I was kind of disappointed. I wanted a actual Lego set, not for it to turn out to be a fake, but I still was able to use the parts. I was still able to use pretty much everything except for the minifigure itself. But I'm not completely disappointed. I will give the set, at least, I will give it A for effort. A-. Either way, comment, subscribe, and share the video.